There are cities that glow so bright at night that you can't see the stars. Shanghai is exactly that kind of city. Neon signs of shopping malls, windows of expensive restaurants, streams of cars with tinted glass, all of it merges into one solid golden glow. But if you walk 3 blocks away from the main avenue and turn into a narrow alley, you can find a small metal cart on wheels. In the mornings, steam rises from it. It smells of dough, oil, and something homey, almost forgotten in this city. An elderly woman in an apron deftly flips thin crepes. She takes small coins from workers and students. Her hands are worn and her eyes are very tired, but she smiles at every customer. Every morning, a thin boy of about 17 walks out of the entrance of the neighboring building. The dark school uniform is a little too big, bought with room to grow. His backpack is fastened on all clips. His name is Cheng Xin. His grandmother silently hands him a rolled crepe and a thermos of tea. They barely talk in the mornings. Everything is understood without words. Every yuan counts. He rides the subway to school, then transfers to a bus, then walks another 20 minutes on foot. Because a taxi is unnecessary spending. Because his grandmother gets up at 4 in the morning so he can study at the best private school in the district. The school is called Star Academy. Children of company directors study here. Children of officials. Children of people who have never stood in line. Here friendship is measured by brands, and respect by the model of your smartphone. Cheng Xin is a foreign body in this world. He knows it. He has accepted it. He just wants to finish school. But there is something that nobody in this school knows about. At night, when his grandmother falls asleep, Cheng Xin opens his old phone with a cracked screen and logs into the messenger. Messages are waiting for him there. She is waiting for him there. Her username is Xiao Zhan. His username is Astar. 3 years ago, when Cheng Xin had just transferred to the academy, the first weeks were simply unbearable. More than 100 people did not notice him. This is a special kind of loneliness, sharp and quiet at the same time. Cheng Xin survived through books and forums. On one literary forum, he accidentally got into an argument about whether cowardice could be considered a virtue if it saves lives. His opponent wrote briefly, sharply, with humor. They argued for 3 hours. In the end, the opponent wrote, "You reason like someone who thinks a lot and does little, but you think well." Cheng Xin replied, "You reason like someone who does a lot and doesn't always think." Draw accepted. "My name is Xiao Zhan, a star." That's how their conversation started. A conversation that had been going on for 3 years already. In that time they had discussed everything, from the meaning of life to their favorite ice cream flavors. They had agreed from the very beginning. No real names, no addresses, no photos, just words, just thoughts, just honesty. Which is easier to show to a stranger than to the people around you? Xiao Zhan wrote first, "Astar, I realized I miss you when you don't write. Is it strange to miss someone you've never seen?" He stared at the cracked screen for a long time. "It's not strange." Astar wrote, "You're more real to me than many people I see every day. That's a little sad. Or it means we're very lucky to have found each other." Astar, "I think I'm falling for you." Cheng Xin smiled in the darkness of his small room. Xiao Zhan, "I've been in love with you for a long time. I just didn't know how to say it." At Star Academy, there is an unspoken hierarchy. At the very top, not the top students, not the richest kids. At the very top, Li Minyu. She is 17. She is the daughter of a sports club chain owner. Minyu is the reigning city champion in junior wushu. 3 years in a row. She has been training since the age of 5. She has quick hands, a perfect sense of distance, and zero tolerance for anything that irritates her. When she walks into the hallway, conversations die down. When she narrows her eyes at someone, that person suddenly remembers urgent business at the other end of the building. Her crowd loudly laughs at everything she says. Cheng Xin ended up in her line of sight by accident. He was walking past and accidentally nudged her elbow. "Who are you, anyway?" she asked. Cheng Xin, "From the class next door. Watch where you're going next time." Minyu noticed that Cheng Xin was poor. It was visible to the naked eye, from the uniform, from the backpack, from the fact that he never ordered food from the expensive school cafe. Then she found out about his grandmother and the crepes. She laughed. She started picking on him over small things. Sometimes with mockery, sometimes physically, working through a technique, testing his reaction. He never responded, never complained. That irritated her even more. Once she pinned him against the wall in the hallway, just to see what he would do. He looked at her with a calm gaze and said, "Minyu, I need to get to class." No fear, no pleading, just a statement of fact. September, the start of a new school year. For Chang Xin, this year is the home stretch. He needs to ace the exams. He needs to get into university. Just hold on for a few more months. In the morning he sat down at his desk by the window. In the back row, a good spot. No one pays much attention, you can think. His phone vibrated quietly. Xiao Zhan. Astar, are you at school already? Have a great day. The sky is so blue today. Can you see it? I see it. Are you looking at it right now too? Yes. Maybe we're looking at the same sky at the same time? Almost certainly. The sky is the same for everyone. That's so romantic. Astar. It's just physics. Xiao Zhan. Chang Xin put away his phone and smiled at his textbook. Then he looked up and saw her. Minyu was walking into the class. Her gaze swept the room and stopped on Chang Xin. For a second, then she walked past. In PE class their groups were combined. The teacher decided to run demonstration sparring matches. Chang Xin diligently studied the toes of his sneakers, hoping to go unnoticed. Chang Xin, the teacher called out. No such luck. He stepped out to the middle of the hall. Li Minyu, the teacher announced. The hall went quiet, and then someone laughed. Because everyone knew. Everyone understood how this would end. Minyu stood across from Chang Xin. Do you know how to fight? She asked quietly. No, he answered honestly. Then just stand there and stay out of the way. In the next 30 seconds, Chang Xin ended up on the mat twice. Minyu worked cleanly, without anger, technically, as if it were an exam. Not a single wasted move. When it was over, Chang Xin got up from the mat and brushed off his knee. She was already turning away, but he noticed. She was looking at him with a kind of strange curiosity. At school, Chang Xin also had a group of bullies to deal with. 4 or 5 guys from wealthy families, confident enough to feel untouchable. It started with small things. Trips in the hallway, water spilled on his notebooks, mockery in the cafeteria. One day they caught him after school in the boys' bathroom. There were 4 of them. Hey, broke boy, said Wei Bo. Do you even understand where you're studying? People like you don't belong here. I study here, said Chang Xin. Just like you. Studying? On Grandma's crepes? I heard she works a street stand? Right there in the alley? That's embarrassing. You pauper. Something tightened in Chang Xin's chest, because they mentioned his grandmother. He was hit, just enough to make a point. He shielded himself without fighting back. Footsteps could be heard in the hallway. The bullies glanced at each other. Let's go. Lock him in. They walked out, and a lock clicked from the outside. Chang Xin slid down the wall onto the cold tiled floor. Silence. Darkness. The bulb had burned out long ago. He took out his phone. Xiao Zhan had written, Astar, did you make it home? Why aren't you answering? Did something happen? Don't let the fact that I'm a girl stop you. I know how to fight. If someone's bothering you, tell me. I won't let anyone hurt you. Chang Xin stared at that message in the dark and thought, if only you knew. He wrote, already home. Stayed after school with friends. Tired today. Going to sleep. Good night. Yay. I was starting to imagine all sorts of things. Good night. Astar. Dream of me. That night the cleaning lady Aunt Fan found him. She opened the bathroom around 11. She saw him sitting on the floor and gasped. Get up. It's cold in here. Have you been sitting here this whole time? The next day everyone in the class knew about it. Chang Xin. Did you not shower? A classmate said loudly. You smell. Such a slob. I locked him in the bathroom yesterday. Wei Bo explained. Of course he smells. Pigs are supposed to smell like that. Laughter. Not everyone laughed. Some just looked at their desks. Wei Bo raised his voice. I said get out of here. Don't stink up the whole class. More laughter. Chang Xin didn't respond. He stared at the text in his textbook and didn't see it. He was thinking about something else. Exams in a few months. After exams, freedom. After freedom, he would find Xiao Zhan. Bring her flowers. They would finally see each other. Just hold on. Minyu walked in when the fun was at its peak. She stopped in the doorway and surveyed the classroom. Her gaze stopped on Chang Xin. There was something in her face, something subtle, quick, not anger, something else. Chang Xin had developed a strict survival routine. Come early, leave among the first, only use the bathroom when it's busy, eat quickly, don't give reasons, be as invisible as possible. During the day, invisible. At night, a star. At night the world was different. He and Xiao Zhan discussed books. She had gotten into Japanese literature, and he read along with her. They argued about Murakami. One day she wrote, Astar. It feels like you're the only person I can be myself with. In real life you always have to keep face, but with you, you can just be. I understand you better than you think. He wrote, tell me about yourself. Something real. What do you see right now? He looked out the window. The night sky over the alley. A light from someone's balcony. The shadow of an old poplar tree. I see the sky. There's one star, almost at the horizon, blinking. Next to it the silhouette of a tree. I've known this tree for many years. It grows on its own, without anyone's help. It just reaches for the light. A star. That was beautiful. Minyu came up with the idea on Wednesday. She overheard a classmate once again telling the story about Cheng Xin's grandmother and her street stand. Something clicked inside Minyu. Not anger. Something more like a sharp, uncomfortable idea. After class we're going to his place. She told her friends. Let's support the family business. Minyu approached Cheng Xin in the classroom. I heard your grandma sells crepes. Let's support the family business. There's no need, he said quietly. It's a small business. Then we definitely should support it, right? You won't like it. It's a street stand. Not very clean. Then it's settled. Don't leave after school. We're going together. Cheng Xin wrote to Xiao Zhan. Xiao, some friends are coming over today. I won't be able to write. You've never had friends over. What happened? He chose his words carefully. He couldn't explain it to her. I just don't want to drag you into it. They're mean girls. They smoke. I don't want you to smell like cigarettes. You don't like girls who smoke. Honestly, the smell isn't pleasant. I see. Okay. Right later. His grandmother wasn't expecting them. She was standing by her cart in the alley, as usual at that time. She saw her grandson arrive with several girls in expensive uniforms and froze for a second. Then she smiled. Grandma, said Cheng Xin, and there was something soft and protective in his voice. These are from my school. Oh, Xin's friends. Come in, come in. Fresh crepes, straight off the fire. Minyu looked at the old woman, at her hands, calloused, reddened from the heat, at her eyes, tired but kind, at the small clean counter. Something shifted inside her. One of her friends had already opened her mouth. Minyu knew she was about to say something mocking. She didn't let her. One for me, please, Minyu said. Everyone looked at her. She took the crepe, paid, took a bite. It was delicious. When they were leaving, Minyu glanced back. Cheng Xin was standing next to his grandmother and saying something quietly to her. He was smiling for real, not the careful mask he wore at school. Something alive and warm. Minyu turned and walked after her friends. For some reason she didn't feel like laughing. Cheng Xin's life continued on two parallel tracks. During the day, invisible. At night, the warmth of words in a cold room. Xiao Zhan more and more often mentioned wanting to meet. She didn't insist, but the question appeared regularly. Astar, we've been writing for 3 years now. Have you thought about it? I have. And, after the exams, I promise, I'll come to you with flowers. Another night, he wrote her a long message about what he thought love was. That love is like a tree. First a small sprout, then roots, then a trunk. That real love doesn't fear silence. Astar, I don't know what you look like. I don't know if you're tall, whether you laugh when you watch funny movies, and yet I love you more than anyone in my real life. Is that strange? No. You love what is real. Words are real. Thoughts are real. Maybe this is the most honest form of love. Do you think we'll be just as good together when we meet? He didn't reply for a long time. I hope so. He finally wrote. November. Rain. Cheng Xin stayed late after class. He needed to redo a test he had failed. When he finished, the hallways were almost empty. He heard a voice behind the door. Minyu was talking to someone on the phone. The voice, different, not the one from class. Quieter, more alive. Dad keeps talking about competitions, but sometimes I just want someone to ask, what do you want yourself? A laugh, short, genuine. Cheng Xin froze at the door. He waited a moment, then walked out. Minyu was standing by the window. She saw him, and her face instantly returned to its usual expression. What are you doing here? Redoing a test. Oh, Minyu, Cheng Xin suddenly said. Who are you talking to? She looked at him, sharply, warningly. None of your business. Sorry, it's just, you were laughing. For real. She was surprised. It was noticeable. She hadn't expected that observation. Minyu began noticing strange things. Small details she hadn't connected at first. Cheng Xin sometimes said phrases very similar to what Astar would write. Not word for word, but in tone, in his way of looking at things. Once she wrote to Astar about competitions. that she was tired of the constant pressure. And he replied, "Sometimes the people around us push us not because they're mean, but because they don't know how to love any other way." Very accurate. Too accurate for coincidence. One day Cheng Xin was looking at his phone and smiling. She noticed it out of the corner of her eye. Then she checked the conversation with Astar. He had written something funny to her at exactly that time. She brushed the thought aside immediately. No, impossible. Cheng Xin, a broke loser she'd been chasing down hallways for 3 years. Astar, a smart, warm person she loved. These couldn't be the same person. They couldn't, could they? She opened the conversation with Astar. Astar, tell me about your childhood. I grew up with my grandmother. It was just the two of us. She worked a lot, so much. I tried to study hard so it would all mean something. Grew up with grandmother. Studied hard. Minyu closed her phone. Her palms were cold. No, it can't be. It happened during a break. Cheng Xin was sitting in the far corner of the school library, reading something. Minyu came in to get a book and saw him. She could have left. She should have left. Instead she walked over. What are you reading? He looked up, in surprise. Without his usual wariness. Murakami. She froze. Which one? Norwegian Wood. You read Murakami? What do you think of Midori? She asked, almost automatically, because that was exactly the question she and Astar had recently been discussing. I think she's the only one who's truly alive in that story. She accepts life instead of running from it. That, Astar had said exactly that, word for word. Minyu stared at him. He stared at her. Minyu, are you okay? Yes, she said, stood up, and left. In the hallway she leaned against the wall and closed her eyes. No, 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 no. She decided to check, carefully, systematically, like before a competition. She started keeping track of when Astar came online and compared it to Cheng Xin's schedule. In the morning, he's on the subway. Astar doesn't write. During class, both are silent. She wrote, Astar, I had a strange day today. A classmate said something to me about Murakami. That Midori is the only truly alive person in the whole story. Long pause. Minyu, I mean, Xiao Zhan. That's an interesting observation. She caught the slip. He had written her real name, Minyu, not her username, Xiao Zhan. He corrected himself immediately, wrote something else, but she had already seen it. Her fingers were trembling. Astar, who are you? I'm Astar. I've always been Astar. You slipped up. Sorry, I'm tired. I wrote the wrong thing. Astar, do you go to school? Yes. A private one? A very long pause. Then he went offline. Minyu sat in her room with the panoramic windows, trophies and cups everywhere. She looked at them and thought, Cheng Xin. Cheng Xin is Astar. The very same boy she had been bullying, humiliating, locking in bathrooms through other people for 3 years. The very same boy she had called pig and broke loser. And all this time he had been Astar. Her Astar. The person she trusted with everything. The person she loved. And he had stayed silent, endured, wrote tender words at night, and collected bruises during the day. She threw the pack of cigarettes out the window. You don't like girls who smoke. Honestly, the smell isn't pleasant. She had thrown the cigarettes away automatically back then, because Astar said so, because his opinion mattered, and Astar sits 3 rows away from her. Cheng Xin realized she had figured it out. The mistake was stupid. He had written her name instead of her username. She might come to school tomorrow and use this against him. She knows how to cause pain. He knew that better than anyone. He wrote to her, Xiao Zhan, I need to tell you something, but I'm not ready yet. Give me time, until the exams. After that, I'll tell you everything. I promise. I won't disappear. She read it, didn't reply. He fell asleep only before morning. For 3 days Minyu was not herself. Her friends noticed and asked what had happened. Her coach noticed she was losing focus in training. The same thought kept spinning in her head. 3 years. 3 years she had laughed at him. She tried to honestly answer herself. What would she have done 3 years ago if she had found out? And she didn't like the answer. She probably wouldn't have believed it, or would have used it against him, because she was used to turning fear into aggression. He knew her better than she knew herself, and he decided to wait. Did that mean he trusted her, or that he was afraid? Both options were unpleasant, each in its own way. She opened their conversation and scrolled up, all the way to the beginning. 3 years of messages, thousands of words, arguments about books, laughter. The first, I love you. His words about the tree that reaches for the light. He was writing about himself. Minyu closed the conversation and looked at her trophies. She felt sick. The following week she waited for him at the school exit. Not with company. Alone. Chang Xin saw her and stopped. They looked at each other. "Come on," she said. "Where? Let's talk." They walked to a small park nearby, sat on a bench, stayed silent for a long time. The wind swept fallen leaves across the pavement. "You're a star," she said. Not a question, a statement. He didn't answer right away. He was looking at the leaves. "Yes. From the very beginning?" "From the very beginning." "And you knew I was Xiao Zhan?" "No. I didn't know who you were. Until it became very hard to pretend I wasn't noticing the coincidences." "When did you figure it out?" "A few weeks ago. You wrote about Midori, in almost the same words we used on the forum 3 years ago." Minyu remembered. Of course she remembered. "Why didn't you tell me?" Chang Xin looked at her directly. "Think about it yourself. 3 years ago, you wouldn't have believed me. A year ago, you would have used it against me. And recently I started to think you were changing. But I wasn't sure. You thought I would use it against you? That would have been a reasonable assumption." Silence. Anger rose inside her, and immediately faded, because she understood. He was right. That would have been a reasonable assumption, given everything she had done. She looked at him, a thin boy in an oversized uniform, with an old backpack. A boy who had written her the most tender words every night for 3 years, and during the day had silently gotten up from the mat after she threw him down. "Did it hurt?" she asked. That during the day. And then you write to me and, hurt isn't the right word. Then, what is? He thought. Hard. It was hard. The silence went on for a long time. Minyu looked at her hands, the very same hands that had thrown him to the mat twice. "I should," she began. "Don't." "What? Don't apologize like that's going to fix everything. 3 years is a long time," he said quietly. "The words, 'I'm sorry,' are good, but they don't erase 3 years. I don't want you to feel better after one, sorry, and go back to living the same way. You're angry." "No, I'm tired." "That's not the same thing." She looked at him and tried to reconcile 2 images into one. Chang Xin, whom she had chased down hallways, and Astar, whom she loved. They didn't fit together at all, and at the same time they fit together absolutely. Because this was one person. "I didn't know," she said, knowing it sounded like an excuse. "I know you didn't know. Does that change anything?" He finally looked at her. "It changes something, but not everything." They sat for a long time. The wind died down. It got completely dark. Gradually the conversation shifted, became less sharp. They began to talk, just talk, like Astar and Xiao Zhan, without masks, without roles. Minyu told things she had never said out loud, that she was tired of the constant pressure from her father. That being champion wasn't just pride, it was also a cage. That tenderness had seemed like weakness to her, until Astar had shown her that tenderness is a different kind of strength. Xiao Zhan. "Minyu, you've always been able to feel things. You just never knew how to show it. Those are different things." She looked at him. "You still think that? After everything?" "I think it precisely because of everything." Astar. "Yeah. I don't know what to do now." "I don't either. But maybe first, just talk. Without phones. Like this." She laughed, quietly, in an unfamiliar way. "This is strange." "Very," he agreed, and he laughed too. For the first time in a very long time, his laughter was real, not the rare kind that broke through in messages. Alive, here, in the real cold air, next to a real person. The next day at school Minyu didn't pick on him. She just walked past, and nodded, barely noticeably. He nodded back. Her friends exchanged glances. Wei Bo looked on with suspicion. During the break Minyu stood by the window alone. Chang Xin came over. "Have you read the next part?" he asked, referring to the book. "Not yet." "Will you lend it?" "Yes." A small conversation. About nothing. But her friends were watching, and Minyu didn't seem bothered by it. That evening she wrote to him by name. "Chang Xin, I was thinking today about what I would have said 3 years ago if I had found out. You were right. I wouldn't have understood back then. I know. You know me too well. 3 years is a long time." Astar. "Chang Xin, I want to start over. The right way. Do you agree?" He looked at that message. "I agree. But, starting over, doesn't mean nothing happened. It means taking everything that happened and moving forward. Tomorrow I'll bring you crepes from your grandmother. I'll buy them myself. In the morning." Chang Xin smiled. "She'll be glad. And I'll tell my friends that you're my good friend. They'll get used to it. That's enough. For now, it's enough." December. Snow. a rarity for this city. But this year it fell. Chang Xin was walking to school, as always, on foot from the bus stop. The snow crunched underfoot. The city looked a little different in white, quieter, cleaner, as if it had taken a pause. Minyu was standing at the cart, not with her friends, alone, in uniform, with a backpack, buying a crepe from his grandmother. His grandmother was saying something, smiling with the same warmth she showed everyone. Minyu listened, nodded, smiled back. Chang Xin stopped a few steps away. Minyu noticed him, turned, held out a second crepe. Here, your grandmother says you like the one with egg and scallions. Thank you. They walked to school side by side. Above the city hung a winter sky, gray, low, with rare breaks in the clouds. Through one of those breaks something like blue broke through. Do you remember? Minyu suddenly said. At the very beginning you wrote that we're looking at the same sky. I remember. I thought then. Those are just pretty words. And now? She paused. Now I think. Maybe what matters isn't that the sky is the same for everyone, but that you actually look up when everyone else looks down. When you look down, you only see the road. When you look up, you see where you're going. Minyu smirked. You talk like you're in a book. You've said that before. I'll keep saying it. It's true. They walked into the school. Classmates turned around. Some looked with surprise. Li Minyu and Chang Xin, walking side by side. It didn't fit any familiar picture, but pictures sometimes change. Minyu nodded at Wei Bo, coldly, warningly. He understood without words. Don't touch him. Chang Xin walked to his desk, got out his textbook. His phone vibrated. Minyu. Are you free this evening? He looked at the back of her head, neatly gathered hair, straight back. Astar. Yes. Why? Minyu. I want to show you a place. You can see the sky really well there. No city lights. Astar. What time? Outside. Snow was falling. Somewhere in the alley his grandmother was opening her cart, clouds of steam rising into the cold morning air. One by one, lights were coming on in the school classrooms. The city was waking up. An ordinary day. An ordinary school. Nothing had changed. And everything had changed. Because sometimes all it takes is one person who looks up to remind everyone else. The sky exists. It is enormous. And the stars burn, on their own, regardless of the season. Like flowers. Like love. Like a tree that reaches for the light.